right, welcome to Hockey Talk with Angel and the Ice Devil. As you can see, my co-host Angel is on assignment for us still up in Vegas, and I promise you next week you're going to see some great action from Vegas as we'll be up there for 3 nights, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in Las Vegas with the NHL Awards and NHL Expansion Draft. We'll also be talking UNLV hockey with Anthony Vigneri-Greener, the head coach of the UNLV Skating Rebels. We're also going to have Arturo Castro and our hockey guru, as I like to call him, Dana Lane, will be joining us as well. So stay tuned next week for a big week. We're calling it Vegas Week. This week, however, we're talking about Father's Day, and we got a special Father's Day edition today with our special guest, Jeff and Johnny Walker. Johnny just completed his final season in the USHL and captured a Clark Cup championship with the Chicago Steel. So we'll have Johnny and Jeff on tonight and do a little father and son visit talking hockey here in the Desert Southwest. So without any further ado, I do want to give thanks to our hosts here at the Ice Den of Chandler for hosting us as they do nearly every week. Also want to give thanks to our sponsors tonight, OxyPow and Swag Hockey. So we'll be ready to roll here in just a few minutes with our special guest, Jeff and Johnny Walker.
The Ice Den Scottsdale has always been the coolest place in the desert. Now with the addition of the Ice Den Chandler, our 2 locations hosting 5 sheets of ice make the Ice Den your home for youth, travel, and adult hockey leagues. Our nationally recognized Learn to Skate programs offer world-class instruction for skaters of all ages. Our pro shop features equipment and apparel with the top hockey and figure skating brands. 18 Degrees Express with the Chili Bean Cafe make the Ice Den the perfect place to host your next birthday party or special event. Visit us online at coyotesice.com.
All right, we're back with Hockey Talk with Angel and the Ice Devil. And like I told you before, we got a special group of guests tonight. It's our Father's Day special. So we've got Jeff Walker and Johnny Walker, Arizona natives, and Johnny being the first Arizonan ever to win a USHL Cup with the Chicago Steel. Just completed, a couple weeks ago?
Yep.
So we're happy to have both of them with us tonight. We're going to do a little talking. We're going to do a little reminiscing. We'll do a little of everything. So as we get started tonight, first of all, I want to congratulate Johnny personally for a great tournament. I know you guys had a really good season, right, leading up to it?
Yep.
And then had a chance to pull it off in 5 games against Sioux City?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about it. What was it like, first of all, to play in the Clark Cup Championship?
Yeah, I mean, we had a good group of guys, and we kind of knew all year long that that was a possibility, and it was our goal from the beginning of the year. We set it at main camp. We kind of sat down and we're like, this is a group of guys that we could do something special with, and we had a few guys go down with injury, and we picked a few guys up too. So, but leading up to the Clark Cup was awesome, but nothing really compared to those 5 games. We a little chaos. We lost our first goalie, our starting goalie, our first game, and then our backup goalie was hurt, so we played with our 3rd string goalie, who actually came out and played really well. Lost in overtime, and then stole game 2, game 3, and then thought we were going to win game 4. And
On home ice, right?
Yeah, at home ice. We had a good fans, and they scored 2 goals in like the last 3 minutes or something like that. And then so it was a little tough. We had 2 days to get back on the bus and head to Sioux City, and they sold out their rink. It was over like 6,000 fans or something. It was crazy. Ended up actually going to Game 5 overtime, kind of something you always dream of.
Right.
And Tyler Gratton ended up as like 3rd or 4th shift of the game, something like that. Just an absolute snipe, and kind of history from there.
So what's it like to get that cup? A lot of people tell me that it's the most special cup in hockey, even more than the Stanley Cup, just with the prestige that goes along with it, and the cup itself is pretty unique, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a lot of history for sure. I don't know if it quite competes with the Stanley Cup, but it's definitely something that not a lot of people get to do, and I'm very fortunate and honestly pretty lucky to have raised that.
So we bring Dad into the picture on this one. You had a starting goalie go down, second goalie go down, third goalie's out there.
His turn to
Is he
come
dressing
in.
back? Is he getting close?
I was calling, no one was answering. I think I have eligibility still.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your days playing college hockey back in Boston College.
Well, really just I played some high school hockey, and then I was looking at some other schools and just decided to go to Boston College. more of an academic scholarship.
Right.
I walked on the hockey team, and from that point on, I was around some tremendous hockey players.
Right.
Brian Leach and Craig Janney and Kevin Stevens and Ken Hodge and Marty McGinnis and Stephen Hines. It was unbelievable.
Now you're talking some names that I'm familiar with.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm a Minnesota Duluth alum,
yeah.
so I know a little bit of those battles that we used to have with you guys way back when.
Yep.
So
Some great hockey players.
So tell me what it was like to be dad in the crowd, having to watch him play, and how were the nerves?
Well, it's funny. I like to sit down in the offensive zone.
Right.
So I already bought 2 tickets. Well, so I had one in the offensive zone every time we switched back and forth.
Right.
And just a little side note, his grandmother, my mom, passed away right over Christmas break.
Oh.
And I had her ashes put in a hockey puck. So I had it in my hands the whole time like this, the entire, just hoping, trying to get any kind of method for channeling her
Right.
to have us, to have him win. And by me bouncing around, I got to know some of the people
I bet
that
you
I was
did.
sitting next to. And a couple people end up emailing me or finding me through Twitter later to congratulate me because I had left that end of the rink for the overtime.
Sure.
But the craziest part for me was there's only about 40 or 50 of us from the Chicago team that were there.
Right.
I was literally sitting in a seat by myself, and when they scored, I went just, yes! And you heard nothing. And I actually thought it wasn't a goal.
Right.
So I sat back down like, oh, I'm so embarrassed right now. And then I saw the kids celebrate. I'm like, okay, it was a goal. Then I went, yeah. And it was pretty, just to see him so happy and everything he's worked for and the journey he's made and going from Culver to Minot and then to Topeka and then to Chicago and just to end up at a career like that and do what he's done this year, and then the whole thing with ASU is just a combination of this is amazing. He deserved it. He worked so hard.
Absolutely.
He worked so hard.
Johnny and I talked, Christmas time, I guess, when you were here. And we talked a little bit about your future plans. But for those that haven't heard, tell us a little bit about how that NAHL, USHL road was for you. You played a lot of games in a lot of different places, didn't you?
Yeah, I actually finished, I think game 200 was like game 3 or 4 of the Clark Cup. So I had quite a few junior games. I started out in Minot actually as a defenseman my first year.
Right.
In and out of the lineup, missed a ton of games. Came back my second year. I only played about half the games in Minot. Came back my second year. I was a defenseman again. Couldn't quite make the lineup. Still about 6th or 7th D, and scratched the first 2 games this season. And then my coach Marty Murray said, "We're gonna try it forward. Like, kind of, we'll see how it goes."
Right.
I have a more offensive, anyways. So my first game, I got a couple bounces and worked out well, and then finished that year as a forward. Then tried out for Chicago the following year. Didn't make it. Got cut. And then I went back to Minot. Got traded to Topeka right around Christmas time, a little bit after. Finished the year in Topeka, and then went back to Chicago's camp again and made the team. And then, kind of like I said, just a good year with a good group of guys and great way to finish off junior hockey.
So when we talk about Minot, we're obviously talking about North Dakota, and I know you and I have a mutual friend up there with Jared Olson, and if Jared gets a chance to see it, I'm sure he's very proud also of your efforts. Jared's seen you play some hockey, hasn't he?
Yeah, he actually coached right in this rink for a while, and he actually won a Clark Cup too.
Right.
Yeah, I found.
But
his
we
team.
call him a North Dakotan. We don't give
Yeah,
him all full Arizona credit.
he's from North Dakota, so.
But yeah, he was really good to have, I'm sure, for a bouncing board when you were up there, because he's actually been able to, like say, win the Clark Cup. He had a solid career at UND and kind of knows the process, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was especially he was my billet my first 2 years there, and it was a long year. My first year, I was getting scratched multiple games in a row. Out of the lineup all the time, and that's tough being 16, 17 years old and
Right.
and you're not playing and sitting in a cold place like that with no family out there. Like you're just my billets, and he took me in as one of his own, and kind of just kept me on track and just stuck with his process and just staying right on the right road, just making sure I'm doing all the right things and still working hard to make sure that I give myself the best opportunity when I get the chance.
So we talked about hockey players and their dedication. Jeff, you know this as well. It's not something that you just pick up and immediately are a star, right? You got to grind it out a lot. Even the best players grind it out some. Johnny's now realizing the dream of getting an NCAA scholarship and getting the opportunity to play here at Arizona State. What does that mean to you?
Well, proud.
Besides a lot cheaper, probably, huh?
Oh yeah, that's just the fact that as hard as he's worked and where he's come from, and the way he's never given up, and to see it finally pay off. I mean, because there's times when he's never given up and it didn't pay off.
Right.
You know, it's a team sport.
Yep.
And to see him, I mean, the first time he came back from Chicago, I could see it in his face how disappointed he was.
Right.
And he failed to mention he did get called up in the middle of the season with Chicago, and he had a nice little stint with him for a weekend, right? Mm-hmm. Got a game winner with a penalty shot. I mean, with a shootout shot.
Nice.
And but just to see him, he never once said, "Dad, I'm coming home. Dad, I'm quitting. Dad, this is stupid." He was frustrated, but what can I do? I'm like, just you gotta work hard. You gotta train hard. You gotta take it seriously. And he never stopped doing that, you know.
So did either one of you think, and Johnny, I think you and I talked about this in January, but did either one of you think when you were maybe 5-6 years ago that there was going to be an NCAA program right here in your own backyard?
I mean, they always talked about it, like, because they obviously had such a great club program.
Right.
And winning national championships there and all that. And they talked about going to Division I, but you never really thought that, like, it would actually happen. And then I remember I got a shirt when I found out that they went Division I, and
right.
Just never put it on. I still haven't worn it. It's so superstitious, and didn't want to jinx it. And when I found out that they went Division I, it just kind of, like I said, it all changed for me, and I wanted to come back home and be a Sun Devil and play hockey in front of my family.
So now this coming season you're going to be out on the ice at Oceanside and at Gila River, and you're going to have some pretty big names coming in. What does it feel like to be part of the number 12, I think, ranked recruiting class in the country?
Yeah.
What does that say about what Coach Powers is doing?
Yeah, it's there's no doubt that he's doing the right things and bringing in the right guys, and it's not just all about the skill. We're bringing in a lot of captains, a lot of good leaders, and all the stats and the rankings don't really mean anything until you go out there and prove it. So I think that just from a couple of the guys I've talked to, my roommates and everything, we're excited to get here and start things up and get going with school.
For those that didn't follow everything, there was also one of your future teammates playing across the ice from you during the Clark Cup Championship, wasn't it?
Yeah, my roommate now too.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Willie and Dom are my roommates, and we already broke the ice and we're over it. So and you knew going into it that we didn't know at the time we were going to be roommates, but we knew we were going to be teammates. And at the time, it was like it was weird. I talk a lot on the ice, but I didn't say much to him all series. we kind of just stayed away, and then once it ended, obviously he congratulated me, and he had a great season too. And I know he was battling through injury towards the end of that playoffs, and he wasn't at 100%. And I think. If he was, I think it could have been a different series. He's a great player. So.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more with Jeff and Johnny Walker.
Crime can happen to anyone at any time. Be a role model for the next generation. Become empowered. This is true life insurance.
All right, and we're back at Hockey Talk with Angel and the Ice Devil. And my special guests are still here, Jeff and Johnny Walker. We're segment number 2, so let's dive into a little bit about ASU hockey. Jeff, first of all, what's your thoughts of ASU hockey and what's going to be like for the next 4 years having him right here?
I tell you, I feel incredibly fortunate. Johnny went away, 14 years old? 14 to Culver Military Academy.
Right.
And, you know, some of the theories behind hockey out of Arizona, you have to leave to go get some good competition.
Yeah.
And Johnny went that route. And then to have the possibility to have him actually come home and be able to see him playing Division I at Arizona State is just, I still don't even get it yet. It's like Christmas. It's just, it's a pretty amazing feeling.
And the really neat part about it, I think, with ASU is that they're not just playing NCAA hockey games. They're playing some pretty high caliber games, right?
He's got a big game against BC in Las Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
I told him I'd root for the maroon and gold, so.
Can't lose in that one, right?
Yeah.
Johnny, tell me a little bit about your thoughts coming in with the, you and I talked a little bit off camera about it, but tell us a little bit about what you're expecting from your new teammates and what it's going to be like to join that group.
Yeah, I know like my class is excited to come in, like I said, get things started. A little anxious, you never know, going into a new locker room and all that year to year, and especially going into school too.
Right.
So I'm excited. Just want to get things started. Talking to Dom Garcia, it's just like I'm kind of sick and tired of waiting. Like, let's just get this thing started already.
And one thing with college hockey is it's a competition every week, right? I mean, you got to play your way into the lineup, and the lineup can change week to week. So it's an opportunity, but it's also kind of nerve-wracking at times, I bet.
Yeah, and you kind of get prepared with that with junior hockey. Obviously, you're not carrying as many guys in junior hockey, but you're still it's a business of winning.
All right.
And the coach's job is to put the best players on the ice that he thinks gives the team the best chance to win. And, it creates a good atmosphere when you got everyone competing against each other for a spot to play on Friday and Saturday nights.
So when I was out all season long at the Tuesday practices and watching the competition that was going on, I could see the guys battling for positions, hoping to make the next road trip. I also watched a guy like Robbie Belargian who had to miss a couple of games due to some NCAA rules. So NCAA is a little bit different, right? Jeff, you've been through it, but the regulations with NCAA are a little bit more restrictive than, say, junior hockey. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So you have to not only keep the grades up, but you also got to do the paperwork and do the different things. I know even as a media member, it's difficult sometimes to get you guys to talk because everybody's got you on a little leash. But tell me what that's going to be like being off the ice, being in class, having to budget your time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's all responsibility and making sure you have your stuff together. I know, like this summer, I'm all set for school, and now it's just getting in the classroom and making sure you're staying on top of things. And, it's going to be an adjustment period, of course, but just making sure you can apply yourself and doing all the right things off the ice to make sure that you have the best chance to compete on the ice.
I'm sure you've taken a peek at the schedule already, so you know who you're playing.
Yeah.
You also guys have a couple of very special holiday trips with an opportunity to play up in Pittsburgh, and then an opportunity to come back and play at T-Mobile in Las Vegas. So, Jeff, first you, what's your thoughts? You're going to be at both of them?
I'll be in the Las Vegas one for sure. Thanksgiving with that's Pittsburgh, right? The Pittsburgh one is over Thanksgiving.
Christmas.
Oh, it's
Both of them will
Christmas,
be
okay.
at Christmas and
All right.
New Year's, basically, right? Aren't they like a week apart or something like that? I think.
Definitely be Vegas because that's my alma mater. I want to see him beat them,
Right.
believe it or not. I'm pretty excited about that. But any and every game I can't wait for. I can't wait for the first exhibition game. I can't wait for the first regular season game. It's just going to be a dream come true.
What's it like to play at Oceanside collegiately now when you get on the ice? You played there several times, I'm sure, growing up. That environment, when I talked to the guys last year, they told me that was home to them, and nobody was going to come in and steal a win on their home ice. Is that kind of the feeling that you're already feeling as a newcomer coming in, that's home ice and protect it?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the culture too, and being in the locker room that's built by the coaching staff and by the leaders and by everyone in the organization. So obviously, coming and playing at home, you want to win no matter what. But I think that's something that is going to become a pride thing that you earn battling with your teammates and battling for a spot in the lineup and pushing each other every day. so when it does come to game time, that you're giving it all that you can to make sure that you give your team the best chance to win.
They had some good players when they was a Mite.
Right?
They had some like Carson Vance was on the team. Matty wasn't on that team, right? But they had a couple of players that ended up going to the USHL and
Right.
play otherwise. So since Mites, they've been playing in that rink. So it's kind of nice to see.
Yeah, to be able to come back there and play as a collegiate, right?
Exactly.
So, obviously, they say the most famous Arizonan right now is Austin Matthews, with the opportunity to be drafted where he was last year, and the season that he put together with Toronto. So what do you see for players coming up in Arizona hockey? What's the sky the limit?
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome what Austin did. Is kind of getting exposure out here in California, Texas. The Southwest is it's coming along. Definitely since I played youth hockey, it's gotten way more competitive. And like my dad said, like the theory of you have to leave to get better and to move on. Kind of isn't as true anymore. I know my brother, he's playing at Calha this year, and he's not going to have to leave when he's 14 or 15. He can
Right.
stay and play through his 16s year, maybe even his 18s year, at the way that youth hockey is progressing in Arizona. So it's awesome to see, and I think that Arizona State coming in and having a Division I program will kind of spark that interest too in kids that'll want to play college hockey, and that they can do that right here in their backyard.
I know your concern is obviously what's going on the ice, but how important would it be for the both of you, basically, to see ASU get a nice college rink on campus and be able to call that a college home? I'm sure that's something you aspire, but do you think it's realistic?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. It's not really my job to worry about. And
Right.
It's not. I didn't commit to play at Arizona State for the rink. I came here to be part of a new program and build a tradition that you can kind of put your footprint on as being one of the first
Right.
First players here. So, I mean, yeah, it'd be awesome if that could happen, and if it does, that's great. And if it doesn't, like that's not why. That's
Right.
not a big reason why I came here. You know?
So when we talk about not only arenas, but also conferences become a big thing with the USHL, obviously you had your divisions, right? So without having a conference at the moment, you really have to go out and win hockey games, don't you, to get yourself noticed and give yourself a chance for an at-large?
Yeah, I think this, maybe last year they were the first year eligible to compete for a national championship. I know this year
Right.
we can for sure. But I mean, having a conference is great, and the NCHC or the WCHA or Big Ten, whatever it is, they're all great conferences. But not having one, you kind of have the freedom. We get to play Boston Universities, the Boston College. We get to kind of make our own schedule, and we get to play the top teams in the country from each conference that maybe you wouldn't get to do if you're limited to one conference. So as everyone's looking at it as we need a conference and we need to get in one sooner than later, it just kind of gives us the freedom to play the best college teams in the country every weekend.
Let's talk about your preparation between now and the start of your camp. What are you doing? I saw you on the ice today, so I know Boris was working you pretty good.
Yeah, I got Boris for a couple more weeks now, and start skating at those captain skates.
Yep.
A couple times a week, and then once I got to get in, get my physical done in order to work out with the strength and conditioning coach. And so I think my big thing this summer is I look at that team, and it's full of big boys, and I'm just I'm hoping to put on 10, 15 pounds of muscle, trying to get bigger, stronger, faster, like everyone talks about. So I'd say that's the main focus for this year, and getting a little faster too.
So your plans for the summer are pretty much to hang around in Arizona, or you got plans to go places,
Yeah.
get away for a little bit, or?
No, I picked Arizona State. I love Arizona. Like I plan on living here the rest of my life. So my focus is get in, put my work in this summer, and prepare for next year set myself up to have the best freshman year I can.
I'm going to give you a couple of minutes just to talk to first the Arizona State faithful. You can tell them directly right into the camera what they can expect out of not only Sun Devil hockey, but what can they expect from Johnny Walker hockey.
Yeah. I mean, Arizona, like, it's already starting to prove itself every day and every game, as you can see, like we talked about. Throughout the year, they got better and better, and beating Ohio State and beating top 20 teams in the country, like that's impressive, and I think that's on the agenda for next year. And as far as for me, I'm pretty meat and potatoes, just kind of bang bodies and play a heavy game and add a little skill in there every once in a while. I can surprise. It's more of like a surprise attack than it is like all the time skill. Like most guys can just can rely on skill. I like to throw the body around a little bit, and get in the dirty areas and compete for pucks.
Well, I got a feeling you're going to get some pucks because I've seen some of the talent that you're going to be playing with, and there's some guys that can move the puck and find the open man. So
For sure.
I think you'll be okay there.
For sure.
We're going to wrap up the Father's Day edition with give me one good story about him that when he was playing youth hockey, growing up.
I think we'll just wrap it up.
What did he do that was just kind of give us a Father's Day story?
Oh goodness. Wow.
Got anything?
Could fix many, I guess, but I could be kind. Jeez. I don't know. This will show. Here's what would always happen. Johnny's got sandpaper in his game.
Right.
He likes to rub people, likes to get under the skin, and sometimes he goes a little too far.
Right.
There's times when he got how many misconducts this year? Maybe one. Yeah, a couple, yeah. But anyway, so I'd sit there and go, wow, this game isn't going the way I could see Johnny just about to blow up here.
Right.
Or do something. Well, the puck comes out of his defensive zone into the other zone. The goalie has to come out to play it.
Pretty far.
Yeah. It was a good full red line, the goal line all the way to their dots up there by the net.
Top of the circle.
Yeah, so I see Johnny and this other player from the other team skating really hard towards the thing, and I see the goalie like, hey, I'm going to come play this. And I'm like, oh, Johnny. No. Oh, Lord. And I just knew because he's my son, and what he does, he just blew that goalie up. The goalie's helmet ended up in the netting over the glass, right? So, yeah, and then what happened is I was trying to, I have to talk to him.
I've grown up a lot, though.
Yeah.
I was like 13.
This was 2 weeks ago. By the way.
Game 4.
But all the mothers are like, oh, Johnny, we love what you did up there. So he has the fans that just love that, his aggression, his sandpaper, his nasty edge to him, But he is really a kind of a really sweetheart off the ice, though, to be honest with you. He took a girl with special needs prom, right? Didn't you? Yeah. Yeah, and he's always doing all the community service, things like that. So for me to see him be that guy on the ice, but then off the ice, that's the hockey story that I like to tell about him, because on the ice he can be the biggest jerk,
You gotta be sometimes, though, right?
Absolutely. But off the ice, he's the biggest sweetheart. He's a fan. When we went to Minot the first time, he was a fan favorite, and they just loved him. And
Yep.
it's so nice to see that him having both of those sides. I mean, he really is a big sweetheart.
Okay, so he gave us one. Turn around is fair play. Give us one about give us one about Dad. What can we say about him?
Not much.
How about it was probably it was the last time you were ever serving in the penalty box. I think it was at this one right here.
Oh,
Was it in that penalty box?
here we go.
So
I was given the opportunity to open the door in the penalty box, kind of like what I did BC, just a little further down and open the door.
so he
So someone, yeah.
I got a knee on knee, maybe a penalty. I don't really remember what happened. All I remember is my dad getting kicked out of the penalty box, and that was the last time he was serving as the honorary parent in the penalty box. So
Yeah.
that's my favorite one. I don't know where I get my aggression from. It's weird how
Yeah, I was chirping a 7-year-old, so I got
Yeah.
thrown out there. I wasn't very proud of myself, but
Well, guys,
A little sandpaper in his door opening. He's a sweetheart, though.
guys, I appreciate you coming on, and it really makes a special Father's Day to have you guys both here. And Johnny, we look forward to seeing you at ASU, and we know we're going to see you back there, Jeff, somewhere.
Absolutely,
So
yeah. Maybe in the penalty box. So,
well, you can find me sitting right up above
There you
the players' bench. So listen, I hear everything Coach Powers says, so I'm sure I'll hear what you say too.
Perfect. I'm pretty quiet. So.
You might learn a few things there.
Guys, I appreciate your time, and thanks again for being our guest tonight on Hockey Talk with Angel and the Ice Devil.
Thank you.
In today's odor elimination, sanitizing, and deodorizing market, air spaces and fabrics are treated with very aggressive, highly toxic, and often very dangerous but cheap chemical-based solutions. These chemicals have harmful residues and pollutants that can impact your health and the well-being of those around you. This is the bad news. The good news is there's something better. That something is OxyPal. OxyPal is a fast-growing company based in Phoenix, Arizona, with franchises opening across North America. OxyPal has developed a way to eliminate, not mask or disguise, all organic-based odors in any airspace or on any fabric surface with ozone, also called trioxygen. Ozone is present in the atmosphere, and it is what protects our planet, our environment, and every living thing on Earth. Through years of research and development, OxyPal has perfected a way to harness and apply this powerful solution to purify airspaces and fabric surfaces safely and effectively, eliminating all organic bacteria, viruses, mold, fungi, and allergens on the molecular level. OxyPal has designed and perfected many next-generation and evolutionary alternative products and services safe for people, pets, and our planet. The solutions offered by OxyPal are stronger, safer, non-toxic, and a great value. Visit our website and online store today at www.oxypal.com. On our website, you can make a service appointment, buy products, or learn more about us and our great franchising opportunities.
All right, and we're back to wrap up another edition of Hockey Talk with Angel and the Ice Devil. I want to thank my special guests tonight, Jeff and Johnny Walker, for coming on out and visiting with us. What a great opportunity to talk Arizona hockey, and the opportunity to have Johnny and Jeff at least explain to a little bit about the father-son relationship. And of course, we want to congratulate Johnny on not only his upcoming season and scholarship with Arizona State, but also for his accomplishment in a Clark Cup champion at the USHL with the Chicago Steel. Also want to thank tonight our special guests that work behind the scenes for us, our executive producer Terry Strandy, our cameraman Robert Schneidmiller. Also want to thank the Ice Den of Chandler for hosting us as always. A great job, great food, great drinks. Get on out here and see some great hockey as well, not only in the summer months but year-round. I also want to thank our sponsors tonight, which of course include OxyPal, Swag Hockey, JPI, and the opportunity for us to put this show on for you. Next week, as I said, we're going to be in Vegas. We've got 3 shows for you coming up Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to encompass not only UNLV hockey, but also to encompass the expansion draft for the Vegas Golden Knights, and also talk a little NHL awards. So look forward to seeing that next week. So for everybody here at the Ice Den in Chandler, I'm Scott the Ice Devil, and for my partner Angel, who's on assignment for us again tonight, I do want to say thank you and say a happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and we'll see you next week. So for tonight, that's a wrap.